Hare Krishna. Thank you, Ritesh Prabhu, Paman Prabhu Ji, Vishwanath Prabhu. This is our VPR, like we say, or Vishwanath Prabhu, Varsana's Prabhu. PR stands for Prabhuji. And V is like Varsana, like Radharani from Varsana. So we have these three wonderful devotees who led the chanting today. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Okay, so we'll continue with our prayer, Mangalacharan, and then we'll sing the bhajan and then Prabhupada Lilamrit. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschat Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Okay, so we'll continue to sing. Anybody would like to sing today? Shri Krishna Chandrashtakam, a bhajan that we are singing this week, glorifying the wonderful qualities of Lord Shri Krishna, and may he offer us service at his lotus feet by Shri Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami Maharaj from a book called Govinda Lilamrit. And these are wonderful prayers. These are actually two parrots, like we were saying yesterday, or last week when we were reciting Radhika Ashtakam. That was sung by this parrot called Sari, which is the female parrot. And this Krishna Chandra Ashtakam is sung by the male parrot, Sukha. So they have some wonderful pastimes that they glorify. Sukha is, of course, supporting Krishna, and Sari is supporting Radharani. So they always try to glorify Krishna and Radharani respectively, and it's like a transcendental competition that is happening between the two of them as to who is more greater. And Krishna and Radharani both take pleasure in their arguments. They clap at saying, you are doing better, or you're doing better, or tum tumhari naak katwa doge. Krishna says to Sukha, come on, say something. So like that. So it is very nice. Okay, so we'll continue to sing this prayer. अम्बुदाञ्जनेन्द्रनीलनिन्दिकान्तिदम्बरः कुङ्कुमोद्यदर्कविद्युदंशुदिव्यदम्बरः श्रीमदङ्गचर्चितेन्दुपीतनाक्तचन्दन स्वाङ्घ्रिदास्य दोस्तु मे स बल्लवेन्द्रनन्दन गण्डतण्डवातिपण्डिताण्डजेशकुण्डलश्चन्द्रपद्मषण्डगर्वखण्डनस्य मण्डल पल्लवीषु वर्धितात्मगूढभावबन्धन स्वाङ्घ्रिदास्य दोस्तु मे स बल्लवेन्द्रनन्दन नित्यनव्यरूपवेशहर्दकेलिचेष्टित केलिनर्मसार्मध्यायि मित्रवृन्दवेष्टित स्वीयकेलिकाननं शुनिर्जितेन्द्रनन्दन स्वाङ्घ्रिदास्य दोस्तु मे स पल्लवेन्द्रनन्दन प्रेम हेम मण्डितात्मबन्धुताभिनन्दित क्षौणिलग्नभाललोकपालपालिवन्दित नित्यकालसृष्टविप्रगौरवालिवन्दन स्वाङ्घ्रिदास्य दोस्तु मे स बल्लवेन्द्रनन्दन लीलयेन्द्रकालीयोष्णकंशवत्सघातकस्तत्तदात्मकेलिवृष्टिपुष्टभक्तचातक वीर्यशीललीलयात्मघोषवासि नन्दन स्वाङ्घ्रिदास्य दोस्तु मे स पल्लवेन्द्रनन्दन कुञ्जरासकेलिसीदुराधिकादितोषणस्तत्तदात्मकेलिनर्म तत्तदालिपोषण प्रेमशीलकेलिकीर्तिविश्वचित्तनन्दन स्वाङ्घ्रिदास्य दोस्तु मे स बल्लवेन्द्रनन्दन रासकेलिदर्शितात्मशुद्धभक्तिसत्पथ स्वीयचित्ररूपवेशमन्मथालिमन्मथ गोपिकासुनेत्रकोणभाववृन्दगन्दन स्वाङ्घ्रिदास्य दोस्तु मे स पल्लवेन्द्रनन्दन पुष्पचाई राधिका विमर्शलब्धितर्षिता प्रेमवाम्य राम्य राधिकास्य दृष्टिहर्षिता राधिकोरसीहलेप एष हरिचन्दन स्वाङ्गिदास्य दोस्तु मे सबल्लवेन्द्रनन्दन अष्टकेन यस्त्वनेन राधिका सुवल्लभं संस्तवीति दर्शनेऽपि सिन्धुजादिदुर्लभं तं युनक्ति तुष्टचित्त एष घोषकानने राधिकाङ्गसङ्गनन्दि तात्मपादसेवने स्वाङ्घ्रिदास्य दोस्तु मे सबल्लवेन्द्रनन्दन स्वाङ्घ्रिदास्य दोस्तु मे पल्लवेन्द्रनन्दन हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। श्री कृष्ण चंद्राष्टकम की जय। श्रीला कृष्णदास कविराज गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। जगत गुरु श्रीला प्रभुपाद की जय। Anybody would like to do the translations?
Let's go, Prabhu.
Go ahead, Nalan Prabhu. Yeah.
Hare Krishna. Happy Ekadasi to everyone. Translation. His fiction belittles the splendor of combined rain clouds, black eye, cosmetics, and sapphires. His garments appear effulgent like rising sun, tinted like kunkum powder, announced by shining bolts of lightning. His perfectly formed limbs are anointed with sandalwood paste mixed with camphor and saffron. May Sri Krishna, the son of the king of the coward men, grant me the service of his own lotus feet. He wears shark-shaped earrings that dance very expertly open his cheeks. The beauty of the orb of his face destroys the pride of the multitude of the moons and lotus flowers. He causes the knot of his own secret ecstatic love modes to increasingly tighten amongst the gopis. May Sri Krishna, the son of the king of the coward men, grant me the service of his own lotus feet. He is eternally engaged in designing ever fresh variations of his youthful form, mode of dress, and loving pastime. He is surrounded by the assembly of his coward boyfriends who excel in giving him delight by their playful joking words. Even a single brilliant ray of splendor from his personal pleasure forest defeats the heavenly Nandana gardens of Lord Indra. May Sri Krishna, the son of the king of the coward men, grant me the service of his own lotus feet. He is delighted by the friendship of his devotees, whose consciousness is decorated with golden ornaments of pure love for him. He is praised by great demigods who protect various planets in the universe and offer obeisances to him by touching their foreheads to the ground. He honors the Brahmanas with great reverence at specific times of the day. May Sri Krishna, the son of the king of the coward men, grant me the service of his own lotus feet. He easily removed the pride of Indra as well as the violent anger of Kaliya, and he killed the demons like Kamsa and Batasura. With the rainfall of these variegated pastime, he nourishes the Chataka bards who are his devotees. By performing his pastime of heroic nature, he delights the residents of his own cowherd community. May Sri Krishna, the son of the king of the cowherd men, grant me the service of his lotus feet. He satisfies Sri Radhika and the other gopis with the nectar of the sportive rasa dance performed in the groves of Vrindavan during the various intricacies of those amorous pastimes. He devises many playful jokes to sustain the assembly of gopis. He thus delights the minds of all people in the universe by the glory of his loving pastime. May Sri Krishna, the son of the king of the coward men, grant me the service of his own lotus feet. By revealing his pastime of festive rasa dance, he also shows the eternal path of his pure devotional service. By his amazing beauty, fascinating mode of dress, he churns the mind of vast multitude of cupids. Through the outer corners of his eyes, he casts sidelong glances aimed at the gopis that give hints of a host of affectionate, ecstatic moods. May Sri Krishna, the son of the king of the coward men, grant me the service of his own lotus feet. He becomes excited with desire by suddenly touching Sri Radhika while she is busy picking flowers. Then he becomes jubilant when he sees her charming face decorated with the contrariness of pure love. Verily, his sandalwood past that decorates Radhika's breast. May Sri Krishna, the son of the king of the coward men, grant me the service of his own feet. It is very difficult for Lakshmi Devi, the other exalted gods and goddesses, to attain even glimpse of the Sri Krishna, who is very dear of Sri Radhika. But if someone glorifies him by reciting these 8 verses with full attention, then he who is delighted by the intimate of association with the Radhika's limbs become pleased with that person and engage them in the serve of his own lotus feet within covered forest of Goloka Vrindavan. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Nalan Prabhu. Yes, so these two wonderful prayers from Sukha Sari Stava, like I said, are sung by the two parrots glorifying the qualities of their beloved lordships, Sri Radha and Sri Krishna. And they have wonderful, wonderful exchanges. Like Sukha says that our Krishna is like a angur, like a grape, which is full of rasa. So then Krishna claps. Yes, yes, very nice. And then Sari says, "Oh yeah, he's certainly full of rasa, but he's not like angur. He's like a sugar cane. Sugar cane probably said you have to grind the sugar cane to get the juice out of it. So like that. So it's only when Radharani and the other gopis have to, kind of uh, uh, chastise him or hold his ears or punish him, then the rasa comes out. So then Krishna says, "Okay, Sukha, now you have to say something to, um, otherwise, this is becoming very insulting." Then Sukha says, "Yes, Krishna holds the Govardhan on his little pinky finger, not only pinky finger, the tip of the nail of his pinky finger, right? So that is the power of our Krishna." And then Sari says, "Oh yeah, he holds your Govardhan, huh? But if Srimati Radhani sees him, like we sang the Radha Kripa Kataksh just with a sidelong glance. If Radhani looks at him, he trembles. He's not even able to hold his flute. What to speak of holding the Govardhan? So like that." And then she says that, and even if he holds it, he gets bent in three forms. So that is the weakness of Krishna in front of Radharani. So like that, they exchange transcendental uh, debate and argument, and that increases the um, joy and bliss of all the devotees, because again, Radha and Krishna are complete in themselves, but this is just to glorify, or just to increase the treasure of love amongst the Ashtasakhis, among the dear maid servants of the lordships, that they perform these pastimes. Okay, so like that, Srila Prabhupada is continuing to perform his pastimes, traveling all over the world as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given the instruction in every town and village. So let's continue chapter 36. Yesterday we were reading that Prabhupada has come to Africa, in Nairobi and Mombasa. He has recovered his health because of the warm weather there. And just as everywhere, just as he has been doing all along, he's saying that this is the standard program. We don't change the program. and the standard program of Prashadam, Kirtan, and Krishna Katha. He's transforming the hearts, even though people there speaking Swahili don't even understand English, but still they're enjoying the kirtans that Prabhupada is leading. And Prabhupada is encouraging his disciples, Ramananda Swami and all, to preach to more and more local people, African people. So he encourages them to perform kirtan and lead kirtan, and people are attracted by the kirtan. And now Prabhupada is also visiting a lot of Indian families, and as a ideal sannyasi, he's teaching his disciples how to act like a sannyasi by just he doesn't get attached. He's only staying at every home for not more than 3 days, and he's continuing to make more and more souls take up to this process of Krishna consciousness. So we'll continue from here. Prabhupada also asked his audience to help the devotees establish a center in Nairobi. We must have a place to stay. Unless we stay, how can we prosecute the movement? Therefore, help us immediately. Give us a place and see how things improve. You have already tested this movement and found that it has been successful all over the world. Why not in Africa? We are not a sectarian group. We don't consider whether one is African or American. In Nairobi, Prabhupada heard of a new law in Tanzania that after 10 years, all private property would automatically become the property of the state, and the owner would be entitled to only a 10% reimbursement. This was a typical Kali Yuga law. Prabhupada remarked, the state passes a law with no reasoning and no benefit for the people. The state should protect the people, Prabhupada said. In Vedic history, during the misrule of the demoniac king Vena, the sages and brahmanas had become very disturbed and had punished him. The sadhu's duty was to make sure the kings ruled justly. But today, nowhere in the world were political affairs in order. There was no sane philosophy to guide society. We must begin to interfere, Prabhupada urged his disciples. Now we are 500 men, and we each have 50 years. So think of what we can do. But you must become dedicated as I am. Sometimes a Vaishnava is criticized as doing nothing, but Arjuna and Hanuman were Vaishnava warriors. When the High Court judges were Tilak, then we are successful. My Guru Maharaj said that. My god brothers were forgetting temples, some rice, eating a little, chanting. But for us, first we work, then samadhi. The word samadhi technically refers to a state of trance in which one is completely absorbed in Krishna and forgets the material world and all material desires. Generally, samadhi is thought of in terms of secluded meditation. A highly advanced yogi goes to a solitary, peaceful place and meditates or chants constantly. But Prabhupada demonstrated by his life's example that the world situation was too urgent for a devotee to retire and meditate. Rather, a devotee should labor hard to increase the Krishna consciousness movement. This would benefit both the devotee and the masses. Prabhupada's disciples, therefore, as servants of their spiritual master, should work now, and later, perhaps in old age and spiritual maturity, they could retire to a holy place to constantly chant and hear about Krishna. Prabhupada emphasized work. Yet, what was that work? At least for Srila Prabhupada, propagating Krishna consciousness was samadhi itself. Samadhi didn't have to be limited to sitting in a solitary place. The full meaning of samadhi implied complete absorption in the loving service of Krishna, with the senses, mind, and intelligence fixed in trance. Thus, in samadhi, one could be active, traveling, preaching, distributing back to Godhead magazines, chanting in the streets. If a devotee always thought of Krishna and worked on behalf of Krishna, then he was the topmost yogi. This had also been Lord Krishna's advice to Arjuna: remember me, and at the same time, fight. Srila Prabhupada was the emblem of active samadhi, always hearing about, glorifying, and remembering Krishna, and always fighting as a soldier on behalf of Lord Chaitanya. Prabhupada's preaching in Nairobi had been especially active. He had established Krishna consciousness in a new city, setting the example for Brahmananda Swami to emulate, showing the standard for spreading Krishna consciousness throughout the continent. And Shamsundara was keeping his GBC godbrothers informed of Prabhupada's amazing activities. The pace has been lightning fast, and His Divine Grace is opening up yet another vast theater of operations. The people are thronging with curiosity and serious questions. Prabhupada, after finishing one late night preaching marathon, asked for food and remarked, you see, I'm hungry. Keep me talking. That is my life. Don't let me stop talking. But Nairobi was only one city in one country on one continent, and Prabhupada's desire was to see Krishna consciousness in every city, town, and village in the world. How could he do it in one lifetime? Traveling to every city in the world, printing and distributing books in every language, constructing fabulous temples. He couldn't, but he wanted to do as much as possible in whatever time Krishna allotted to him to ensure that the Krishna consciousness movement would survive. He criticized the politicians' typical attitude that unless they themselves remained active, everything they had worked for would crumble. Such politicians were always reluctant to retire, preferring to remain in office until their last breath. Prabhupada, however, had no personal ambition, and he knew that results were awarded by Krishna. As a true sannyasi, he had renounced the world and worldly ambition, but he had not become lazy. He was executing his mission at an advanced age, and Lord Krishna was rewarding his attempts. Prabhupada, therefore, in a mood of reciprocating with Krishna, kept working to expand the Krishna consciousness movement, knowing that Lord Krishna wanted the world flooded with love of God. Srila Prabhupada had earnestly tried to do it, beginning in a storefront in New York City, and Krishna had responded, sending him a few men and enough money to pay the rent. Then Srila Prabhupada had attempted to do more, and again Krishna had responded. Thus, a second ISKCON center, and a third, and a fourth, and more had sprung up, and book printing had begun. Srila Prabhupada, in his mood of loving reciprocation with Krishna, just kept attempting more and more. Now it was no longer simply one person's work. Srila Prabhupada was entrusting the work to his disciples, and those disciples, if they were actually to help, would have to adopt Prabhupada's selfless dedication. As they tried to follow him in his expansive plans, however, their minds faltered. For a handful of devotees to maintain even one temple in one city was a big job. Yet, Prabhupada was doing this 100 times over. He wanted the movement he had started to continue for thousands of years, and he was confident that as long as his followers remained pure, working within the guidelines he had given, they would be successful. Although the present age of Kali was the worst of all ages, in which people had little or no interest in spiritual life, Prabhupada had faith in the past Acharya's predictions that Krishna consciousness was destined to enter a golden age of worldwide influence. True, it was the worst of times, yet, by the influence of the holy name of Krishna, it would become the best of times. The chanting of the holy name was the religion of the age. The people of Kali Yuga could find deliverance simply in chanting Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada's activities show he was empowered by Krishna. This is evident from his childhood, when at the age of 5 he held a Rath Yatra festival, and it is certainly evident from these years, 1968 to 1971, when he actively expanded his Krishna consciousness movement. Prabhupada compared ISKCON to the Varaha incarnation of Krishna, who at first had been no bigger than a thumb, but had quickly expanded to half the size of the universe. ISKCON's rapid growth was not simply due to rapid communications and modern travel, nor to its founder Acharya's material organizational abilities. Prabhupada, judged materially, was not a likely person to conduct a worldwide movement, to travel vigorously, to write volumes of books, and to train thousands of disciples on every continent. He was satisfied with a simple, regulated life, and he disdained all such cultural items as music, fashion, sports, politics, art, food, anything not related to Krishna. He worked and traveled out of an intense desire to benefit the world with real culture, to implant spiritual culture in what to him was the desert of a materialistic society. Therefore, accepting that Prabhupada was not materialistically ambitious, we can understand his proclivity for worldwide propaganda and dissemination of a spiritual movement as entirely transcendental. He was acting solely to carry out the desires of Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Srila Prabhupada saw himself as a servant of a spiritual master, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, whose message he was carrying. That message, which was also the message of Lord Krishna, had come down through the disciplic succession. We are all spiritual souls, eternal servants of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. We have now fallen into forgetfulness and are suffering birth after birth in this material world. By chanting Hare Krishna, we can revive our lost relationship with God. With Prabhupada's first success in America, a few of his god brothers in India had minimized his work. Bhaktivedanta Swami, they had said, happened to have a temperament suited to mixing with lower class Western youth. The fact, however, as Prabhupada's own experience testified, was that the young people among whom he preached were not particularly receptive, nor had he arrived timely and welcomed, simply to discourse on Srimad Bhagavatam to throngs of submissive disciples. He had been successful because of his great patience, tolerance, and compassion. It was not, therefore, the advent of the jet plane, although Prabhupada gladly took advantage of it, nor was it happenstance, nor luck, nor even a social or historical phenomenon that enabled Srila Prabhupada to spread Vedic culture from east to west and back again. No, it was the will of Krishna and the sincerity of his servant. Chaitanya Charitamrita states that unless one is possessed of Krishna Shakti, special power from God, one cannot propagate the chanting of the holy name. Kali Kalera Dharma, Krishna Nama Sankirtana, Krishna Shakti Vina, Nahe Tara Pravartana. The fundamental religious system in the age of Kali is the chanting of the holy name of Krishna. Unless empowered by Krishna, one cannot propagate the Sankirtan movement. Chaitanya Charitamrita, Antilila 7.11. This verse describing Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also describes Lord Chaitanya's servant, Srila Prabhupada. Had Srila Prabhupada not been empowered by Krishna, he could not have inspired so many people to accept the chanting of Hare Krishna. According to Vedic literature, when a person has extraordinary spiritual endowment, Krishna Shakti, he is known as Shaktyavesha Avatar. Although the word avatar generally refers to the incarnations of God Himself, the term Saktyavesh Avatar refers to an individual empowered by God to enact the mission of God in this world. Saktivesh avatars and their particular functions are mentioned in the Vedic literature. For example, the Emperor Prithu possessed the Shakti for God consciousness administration. The four Kumaras possessed the Shakti of transcendental knowledge, and Narada Muni possessed the Shakti of devotional service. Lord Buddha, whose name and activities are described in Srimad Bhagavatam, is also a Saktivesh avatar, and even other divinely empowered personalities outside the Vedic culture, such as Jesus Christ and Muhammad, are accepted by Vaishnava Acharyas as Shaktivesh avatars. Srila Prabhupada's activities during the years 1968 to 1971 establish him as a Shaktivesh avatar, and he fulfills the predictions of the scriptures. Prithviti Acheyata Nagarati Gram Sarvatra Prachar Hoibe Moranam. In all the villages and towns all over the world, everywhere the Sankirtan movement of Lord Chaitanya will be preached. Even from the viewpoint of religious history, Prabhupada's preaching was a fulfillment of the mission of Lord Chaitanya, who had appeared in West Bengal about 500 years ago, before Krishna consciousness came west. The Vedic literature and the Vaishnava Acharyas concur that Lord Chaitanya is the original supreme personality of Godhead Krishna himself, appearing in this age as a pure devotee of the Lord. And just as Lord Krishna appeared with his plenary expansion, Lord Chaitanya appeared with Lord Balaram's incarnation for Kali Yuga, Lord Nityananda. Hare Krishna. Okay, I think I'll pause here. All right. Yes, Shakti Avesh Avatar. So Shakti is like Krishna, like we've been talking about Krishna's two primary expansions, Balaram and Srimati Radharani. Right. So Krishna's there's kind of two parts of the body, right? The left side of the body and the right side of the body. The left side of the body, which is where the heart is located. From that side of the body of the Lord comes the Shaktis. So that's why when you see the Panchatattva, to the left of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are the two Shakti of avatars, which is Gadadhar Pandit, which is actually Srimati Radharani, which is the Ladini potency. And then there is also Narada Muni as Srivas Pandit. So that is the Jiva Shakti, even though he's a Nitya Siddha, but for the purpose of Leela, he's acting as Jiva Shakti. So those are the two Shaktis on the left side, on the heart side of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And on the right side of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which is Nityananda Prabhu and Advaita Acharya. So those are the avatars, the Vishnu Tattvas. Right? So Advaita Acharya is the incarnation of Sadashiv and Vishnu. And of course, Balaramji is Nityananda Prabhu. So those are on the right side. So like that, those are the Shakti avatars and the Tattva avatars, the Vishnu avatars. So Prabhupada also has Shakti Vish avatar. Like Prabhupada also mentioned multiple times, Jesus Christ was also Shakti Vish avatar because he was a pure devotee. So the incarnation or potency of the Lord, again, all of them coming from the Lord himself and from the two primary expansions of the Lord. Yeah. And of course, Krishna gives all blessings and all reciprocation, like we are reading here today. When we are trying to sincerely follow the instructions of the predecessor acharyas, like Prabhupada is doing here. He's not taken even an iota of credit for himself after establishing such a huge organization. He didn't want even, like we were reading a few days ago, he was traveling everywhere, but almost like a wandering soul, right? Like a sannyasi, not being attached to anything, even what to speak of staying at his guest's home, but even in his own organization, he used to live like, he was just a visiting sannyasi in some small apartment without anything major, no major comforts for himself. So he was completely renounced because his mood was just to serve the instructions of his Guru Maharaj, which was to propagate this movement across the world. So if he was too attached to one place or one temple or one person, then he would not have been able to do this. But out of his humility and compassion for everybody, he traveled everywhere. So that is like, strong as Govardhan, like Govardhan Parvat, which means go, which is our senses, and Vardhan is nourisher. So like that, he was strong as Govardhan Parvat, yet nourishing each and every soul who came in his contact. So Govardhan, Gopi, all these are very wonderful terms. Gopis, we read about Srimati Radharani. So we were fortunate to be in New Vrindavan during Radha Ashtami, thanks to all the devotees who were there from Cincinnati and from all over the world and all over America. And we were able to take darshan of Sri Radha Kund and Sham Kund on the Govardhan Parikrama. And we were able to sit under a tree and chant Hare Krishna, Mahamantra, sing the Nam Sankirtan. We were able to read about the Radha Kund from Nectar of Instruction. So it was wonderful that both Sri Radha and Sri Krishna, and also take blessings of Varsana Swami, like I was saying in the beginning. Varsana Maharaj, who resides there in New Vrindavan. It's all his mercy and potency that so many devotees are able to now come there, take darshan of the lordships, take darshan of the Radha Kund and Sham Kund, and Gopeshwar Mahadev as well, and sing those wonderful prayers and bhajans like we sang. We have been singing about Radhika Ashtakam and Sri Krishna Chandra Ashtakam, both, one after another. So one week is Radharani's pastimes, other week is Krishna's pastimes. So like that. Gopi. Gopi also means she is the topmost Gopi. Gopi also is like go and P. Go is our senses, and P is somebody who drinks the nectar of Krishna's holy names, Krishna's pastimes, form, beauty. That is P. Pina. In Hindi, we say Pina is to drink. So Gopi, one who drinks the nectar of Krishna's holy names through all their senses. And Radharani is, of course, the topmost Gopi. So anyway, maybe that is why the word P, or which is actually called as pi, in our modern civilization is so famous, right? The value of pi, like some of our kids, I know, Prisha, Harshika, all these kids, and Harita, they all sing the song, the 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 power of pi, or whatever that is. Then they all know like 100, 200 digits of the pi. And actually, I was thinking that pi is actually this go pi, go p. That is the power of that pi. That even in this world, this pi is so popular. And the number is also very significant, 3.14, which comes again to 8. The Ashta number, which is for both Krishna and Radha. Ashta, Janmashtami, Radha Ashtami. So everything tied to number 8 is very auspicious. That's why number 3.14 for pi is only very auspicious, because it comes from go pi, gopi. Hare Krishna. All right. Any other thoughts, reflections from today's reading? Hare Krishna. Jai Hari Prabhu. Nice to see you. Anything you'd like to share, Prabhu? The doctor, of course. Anybody else would like to share anything? Anything that Shamakarna Mataji, welcome back. Hopefully you had a good trip for the holidays.
Yes, Prabhuji, I did. We went to Chicago. Kishore.
Oh, Kishore Kishori, Radha Krishna, and the Kishore
Yes.
Kishore both are.
Radhanath Maharaj had come.
Jai. Very nice. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare
Sorry,
Krishna.
couldn't mute on time.
Yes.
Prabhu, I don't have anything to share, but I was very happy with Prabhupada's movements and his mood, and how he is encouraging us all. So thank you for this service you're doing to keep everybody engaged in Prabhupada's mood. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu, for giving us your association. Yeah, it is all collective devotees Sangha, which makes everything possible. The Sadhu Sangha, the A for association of Sadhu Sangha is when the magic happens. So thank you to all the sadhus and all the Matajis here for their daily association. Hare Krishna. Okay, anybody else would like to say anything or share anything?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
In the beginning of the reading, when Srila Prabhupada said that we are not neither American nor African or something, it just reminded me a verse from Chaitanya Charitamrita where it said that I'm not Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya or Shudra. I'm not a Brahmachari, Grasta, Vanprastha or Sannyasi. What am I? I'm the eternal servant of the servant of the servant of Lord Krishna. Prabhupada has repeatedly, and his followers have repeatedly exemplified that. You know, Anukulina Krishna Anushilanam Bhaktirottama. So that is what we are seeing repeatedly here. So that is what we need to take away from this reading today.
Yes, very true. Thank you for sharing. Yes, Mataji. Yeah, from his childhood, like we were reading, from his childhood, he was engaged in the service, loving devotional service by his father. So, of course, the samskaras are there from the previous birth, and like his father would ask any Vaishnavas coming to their home to bless their son, bless his son, that he may become a pure devotee of Srimati Radharani. And that is what we see. Prabhupada has eventually, because of the mercy of Srimati Radharani, is able to endow that love of Godhead in everybody, in every individual's heart, because that is something that only a true Guru can do. Only if you have the love, then you can give that love to others. So that is what he's, and as a sincere servant, like you said, as a servant, considering himself as a servant of Shri Radha Krishna. I was telling, I saw Satyagan Prabhu was here, but yeah, when we went to New Vrindavan, we were telling, we were singing a lot of Raj bhajans, and we were singing bhajans in the car, and Radharani as the Aritashtri Devi of Barsana. Like, the bhajans we were singing is like Radhe, 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 Barsane wali Radhe, right? So that Barsana, that she's actually Barsaying. What is she Barsaying? She's Barsaying the mercy, the love of Godhead. And that only she can do, and her pure devotees can do, like Srila Prabhupada did. So they have bestowed, she has Barsa, she had really showered that mercy on Prabhupada, and through, of course, through the mercy of predecessor acharyas. And Prabhupada has been able to give that to the entire world. Yeah. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Okay, all right, it's 6:39, so we will pause here for today. Thank you again for your kind association, wonderful reflections, realizations, and for coming together in this movement of Srila Prabhupada, cooperating and always trying to do services together is what pleases our acharyas. So thank you for joining every morning through your busy schedule. We'll end with Vaishnava Pranam prayers. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam padamnebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय, जगत गुरु शिला प्रभुपाद की जय, शिला प्रभुपाद लीला अमृत की जय, निताई गौर प्रेमानंदे, हरि हरि बोल. हरे कृष्णा.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Have a great day.
Hare Krishna.